Welcome to the NS9 postgame show. I am your host, Connor. With me is Neil. That's the part where you're supposed to say hi.
Hi. Usually there's a longer intro. Hi. How's everyone doing?
Yep. Pirates lose 6-4. Luis Ortiz went 3 1/3, gave up 5. He's the losing pitcher today. Thompson started for the Cardinals. He went 5, gave up 2. Yeah. Bit of a long one today. Rain delay in the middle.
Yeah, I don't even know if I can chalk this up to a Luis Ortiz outing. For me, this one's completely on the offense.
I wouldn't say that. I know that they were like 1 for 8 with like 1 for 9.
0 for 9.
Yeah, 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position today. But like that happens. Luis Ortiz was awful today.
He was. I think there were some silver linings there, but I mean, you cannot waste 9 opportunities and get 0 hits. I mean, that is an easily winnable game there.
It was. Well, especially because the Cardinals lead the league in blown saves, right?
Yeah.
And in the later portions of this game, they had a lot of runners on and couldn't capitalize on any of them. Despite that, some good performances today from Andrew McCutchen again. And Connor Joe had a double. That's his 5th of the series. He's hot.
Got hit twice.
Yeah, he did. Hit by pitch twice. 2 RBIs. McCutchen got on base 4 times. 4 times because he struck out looking in the 9th. Hayes with 2 more hits and a homer. Reynolds 1 for 5. It's just the bottom half of that lineup was just really bad today.
I mean, Peguero was pretty good.
But Palacios, Bay, Williams, and Delay. There's only 1 hit between those names.
I understand why they did it because like he was hitting tanks the other night, but Palacios should not be hitting 5th.
No, he shouldn't be.
Not that would have changed a damn thing today, probably. But yeah, no, not great. But I guess we should probably start with the starting pitcher, and I guess it only makes sense.
Yeah, Luis Ortiz. I'm sorry. I don't see anything here. Like I think we're at that point where it's just the batted ball profiles are so egregiously bad that just like I don't know how you fix this.
Well, I mean, today wasn't really a batted ball problem.
It wasn't.
Today was a control problem.
Which is when you compound the batted ball issues he has with the control problems that he has. I just like it almost feels like there's too much here to overcome for a Pirates development system that is notoriously not that great at developing.
Well, I mean, it all kind of started going downhill when they stopped telling him to throw 100 miles an hour. And I guess some positives from today. He was getting swing and miss stuff. Like when he was up here first, no one was swinging and missing against Luis Ortiz. The velocity was up a bit today. 5 strikeouts, 13 swings and misses, and 3.1 innings of work. I mean, those are the stuff that like you can work to build on. He wasn't striking anyone out. Let's put it this way. If you look at his Savant page right now, first percentile in hard hit, batting average, slugging, second in barrel rate, K rate, like really miserable stuff. And today he got 5 Ks. He only had 5 hard hit balls the entire time. There is something to build off that, I think. He was not good today, but like he wasn't displaying the same issues he was showing earlier in the season.
I think that's fair to an extent. It's just not enough progress for me to go, oh yeah, he needs like to build off of this. It's still a problem.
Yeah.
He's not the same pitcher. Admittedly, the pitcher that we saw in those 4 outings last year, it was kind of a mixed bag, but the stuff was just so good that he was completely overpowering good hitters at this level at times.
Mm-hmm.
He went into Yankee Stadium as a rookie in like his 3rd start and struck out, what, 7?
Something like that.
I mean, that's something. And this year he just hasn't shown you anything.
No, I don't know. I don't know what they were doing to him.
The stuff
It's not working.
the stuff is worse and the control isn't better. So it's just I don't know exactly where the source of, because everyone I've talked to has no idea about them telling him to throw less hard for more control. I'm starting to think that that's just a load of malarkey that someone put out there a little too early or without proper verification. Because people have said that, but it's just from everyone that I've talked to. That's not what happened.
Okay,
Which is more concerning.
Yeah, I mean, it is concerning if he just doesn't have it anymore, which would be crazy because, like, you have to ask yourself, where does that even go over a single offseason? I don't even remember. He was throwing gas in spring training.
Yeah, he was. He was throwing gas in the World Baseball Classic. What? Like, I don't understand what happened. But I mean, all the different beat writers and all the people that I've talked to within the organization, nobody knows anything about them telling him to throw less hard for more control.
Yeah. Well, I think the big thing, and I know a lot of people were talking about it earlier, is he really needs. They're making him have a 3rd pitch, which is fine. The problem is that his 3rd pitch is a changeup is so uncompetitive. I'll let you guess how many strikes he threw with his changeup today.
2.
1.
I was close.
Like out of 12, he threw 1. And so if you don't even have to worry about swinging at a changeup, it's a useless pitch.
Yeah.
Like there are obvious control issues, but it also, like, what were they doing with this guy in the minors? Or like what are they telling him to do? Because obviously he came out for his 100-mile-an-hour fastball, his 94-mile-an-hour slider. And, today, like, you got some of that stuff. Like, you got some of those swings and misses. Like, the slider wasn't bad today as far as I recall. Like, it's more about the fastball, which I think has just been an organizational problem.
Yeah, I question how, because you look at, because I question how a guy, because even before he was throwing 100, he was throwing like mid-90s, right? How could they look at a guy throwing that hard with only 2 pitches and go, okay, we're not going to teach you the changeup until you are on the doorstep of the major leagues? That's the part that I really don't understand.
Nope. It's kind of like another Henry Davis situation. Why would you tell him he's a catcher until he gets to the major leagues and suddenly he's not a catcher anymore? Like, you're also going to practice catching on the side. Like, how this team handles prospects, at least from an outside perspective, makes no sense at all. And I think Luis Ortiz is another victim of that.
Well, that's the other thing. To be fair to the Pirates, right? Most pitching prospects do not work out. The top 10 pitching prospects on MLB Pipeline, in 5 years, you're not going to know who 6 of those guys were. If you're lucky. If you're lucky, four of the top 10 pitchers in the top 100 work out. To be fair to the Pirates, that's the reality of it. There's the flip side of that coin is that they have kind of taken some missteps with Luis Ortiz, and they could have done better.
Yeah, but it's an organizational trend, like
that's another part of it.
Unless you really want to give them Oviedo, who's basically been the same starter numbers wise as he was as a Cardinal. I mean, which I guess you can do because he hasn't gotten any worse. Who is the success story?
Well, I would.
Who is the prospect success story here?
To counter the Oviedo thing, I haven't taken a look at the deeper dive of him, but he has like 14 or 15 starts this year where he gives up 2 runs or less and pitches 6 innings or more or something.
Listen, everyone knows the Oviedo stuff is there. I'm never going to deny that.
Well, I'm saying that like in terms of has he gotten better? You know, I haven't taken a deeper look to see if those kinds of performances were there or not to give some credit to the Pirates.
I can't give them credit until they can tell them how to locate a fastball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I don't want to make this the Oviedo show, but fastballs are the cancer to this pitching development. We've seen it with Rowanzi. We've seen it with Ortiz. Even they told Keller, like when Keller was struggling, he was barely throwing his fastball. He was throwing like 8 different pitches. It's just a trend. And so I have to ask myself, well, what are we doing? And then, you know, all our top guys, like Jared Jones is a fastball pitcher. Paul Skeens is a fastball pitcher. Bubba Chandler has a good fastball. Like, what happens when they hit the switch from the minors to the majors? Because whatever they're doing isn't working. And I think that's why I've been so harsh on Oscar Marin, because, like, I don't know what else to make of it. They just fall apart once they hit the major leagues.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's frustrating. It is. Because as much as I want to give them the benefit of the doubt with how many top 100 prospects do not work out, because the majority don't. You know, not all 100 of those guys are going to be major league players. Not 80 of those guys are going to be major league players. Not even 50 of those guys are going to be major league players.
I'm not sure I agree with that, because someone actually pulled the data from 2013. The MLB pipeline top 100 prospects, a third of them were still in baseball, like with not in like real starting jobs, a decade later this year. Like,
how many of those didn't work out though?
Well, but what I'm saying is that if there are a third who are still in baseball in 10 years, that means there were probably another 20 or so guys who are making it for at least a little bit as a competent major league player. And that doesn't even include the bench players or the relievers. So what I'm saying is that prospects actually do work out more than we think. I just think we're just so used to bad development that we just think, oh, no one's prospects actually work out.
I think that's fair.
I mean,
I don't know. This is part of where I am with Ortiz, where it's just like, it's Rowanzi too, because I don't know how you fix, not to make this about Rowanzi, but I don't know how you fix him either.
Nope. Rowanzi,
I don't think they know either.
As far as I'm aware, Rowanzi's done. Like, I'm sorry, like his fastball is just never recovering. His stuff just is never going to be there again. You can kind of squint and see where you can fix Ortiz, but neither of these guys who are supposed to be major parts of the rotation this year are going to be a part of this future, and it's kind of sad to see.
Yeah. So the offense.
Yeah, bad day. I mean,
left a lot of runners on.
I mean, usually 4 runs and 10 hits is pretty good for us, but the context really is not great,
especially off of a Cardinals bullpen that's pretty bad. They should have gotten more out of the opportunities they had. They struck out looking twice in the 9th. Just
Andy Haynes special. I mean, that's 6th inning with Palante, and you've got to get more than a Jason Delay RBI across the board.
Yeah, you do.
That was kind of where the game was decided for me. Like, you were still within range. Like, 5-3 is doable with 9 outs left.
Right.
but that was the moment. You're chipping away. It's 5-2. You got the bases loaded. Like even a single score in two, like that's a whole new ball game.
Right.
And there's no awareness. Situational hitting doesn't exist on this team.
Right, and it's my biggest problem with the Andy Haynes approach. It's just like there's no flexibility for game situation. It's you aren't going to swing unless it is absolutely your pitch.
Yeah. And then we get behind the count, and then people start swinging at bad pitches because that's what happens. Like the numbers out there are for everyone. Like everyone knows if you go down 0-2, major league wide, like you're not getting on base 90% of the time.
Especially because the Pirates this year do rank, I think, either second or in terms of calls going against them. They rank, I think, either second or fourth.
Yep. I thought it was first. So
was it? I glanced at the data at the statistic earlier this morning.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is, the umpiring has been awful. It's been awful all year. Yeah. We've all seen it, and the numbers back it up.
That Palacios strikeout call in the ninth was atrocious.
It was. But the problem is, if the Pirates are like aware that the umpiring they have is this bad, and they just keep trying the same things over and over and over, and they just keep staring at pitches. At some point you gotta swing.
You would think. But yeah, no, there really hasn't been a change in the approach. And you would think after like 2 months of being the worst offensive team in baseball, they would maybe have some introspection. But, I don't think this organization moves quickly in response to.
They don't move quickly on anything.
Yeah, like there is no urgency with this team. And I think they're just going to ride out the Andy Haynes approach until the end of the year. Let him go.
He's totally gone.
But like, I genuinely believe with like my whole heart that you are looking at even like 5 more wins this year if you have a competent hitting philosophy in place this year.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm being hyperbolic, but
no, I don't think you are at all.
Like you are looking at a much different offense with not Andy Haynes.
And I don't think, maybe the individual performances aren't that much better, but just more situational awareness to just not it's like the Sawinski thing where the final line is fine, right? But everything in between is just atrocious.
Yeah. No, it's not good. And like even when you get 10 hits like you do today, Brian Hayes, Andrew McCutchen, Leo Piguero, all having great games.
And nobody could drive them in.
No one drives them in because, another 9 strikeouts today. When you're batting G1 Bay, Alika Williams, and Jason DeLay basically back to back to back, you're kind of asking to go out quietly.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where like some power would be nice, If we turn a couple of those doubles into home runs, you're talking about a totally different ball game. But only 1 home run today. I'm happy for Brian. He's been good. He's been keeping it up for a lot longer than he normally keeps up these streaks. I'll give him that.
Yeah. Well, the thing with him is that there's more encouraging underlying numbers than I think we've seen in a while.
Yeah. He's never hit the ball in the air this hard.
Right.
For this amount of time.
Right. That's why, I'm obviously with him, I'm not going to peg him as anything until we see this over like the course of a full season.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think if he keeps this up till the end of the year, like I don't think he's going to hit 300 until the end of the year, but like hitting the ball into the air, hitting more home runs, right, getting more doubles, like just this general approach. Like if he has more 2 for 5 games, and he's doing that throughout the rest of the year, I'd be willing to hop on the train again.
Yeah, so would I.
If I had told you that Cabrian Hayes had a real shot at passing Jack Sawinski's OPS in April, what would your reaction be?
Yeah.
It's not good with Jack, but he didn't play today.
No, he's been sitting quite a bit recently.
And you don't love the Bay Palacios in center combination, but I can't blame them one bit for giving him some rest. He needs some time off.
He does. It's just you could not continue. It was getting to the point where it was like, okay, you're Chris Davising right now. You're like 4 for 54.
Yeah, it was untenable.
Yeah, no, at that is the about the threshold where even the Pirates are like, no, you're not getting on the field.
Mm-hmm. Like, and obviously, I don't think sending him down is going to do anything. But like,
well, no, because
you do need to address center field in the offseason at this point.
Because I think people think that like people talk about it as if it's some like magic bullet.
Mm-hmm.
What will Jack learn from being in AAA? Because his approach that's not working absolutely is going to work in AAA because the pitchers have worse control. They have worse stuff. The pitches are easier to recognize. It's just, he will learn nothing from being there.
Yeah, I can't imagine anything worthwhile happening.
And when people saying that, oh, Davis should be sent down, Davis will learn nothing from AAA. Just like he was learning nothing from being in AA.
Davis just needs a position and like someone to sit him down a drive line and tell him how to hit sliders, man. Like this is not, I don't think it's that hard. Like
no,
Davis is an easy solution there. Sawinski, I don't know if easy is the right word, but he needs someone besides Andy Haynes to be his coach.
And it's the same thing with Luis that you're seeing right now. Obviously, they need pitching because they were rolling with 3 bullpen days, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how much more does Luis actually have to learn in AAA? Because it's really just time for him to face major league hitters.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
It's just people talk about sending them down until they get right. Well, how are they supposed to get right against major league competition when they're facing minor league competition?
I don't think it does, but
you gotta get them ready for that in the actual development rather than after.
I think people just like to see them disappear and not have to see the bad stuff.
Yeah,
I think that's the real thing. Like but it's never gonna happen. I don't know. Who else do you want to talk about today?
I want to talk about Connor Joe, man. He's been good.
Yeah, he's been good.
He's been really good. I never understood the hate for him in like May and June. He's a decent player. I mean, I think he's proven that now.
Well, the hate probably comes from the fact that he's just a decent player who needs to be put like in a very unique role to be good. And he was being depended on as an everyday player.
Right.
And because he had such an electric April, people were expecting like, oh, he should be batting with a 1,000 OPS all season. And
yeah,
no, but no, he's a handy player. I like him. I think he also just like watches pitches too much.
It was obvious from the start that they went after him because of the organizational hitting philosophy.
Yeah. But I mean, if you told me that Connor Joe, like at this point, was going to be a 2-WAR player in like 115 WRC plus, I take that every day of the week.
Yeah, no, he's got like an 800 OPS right now, right?
785. But yeah, no, Connor Joe's been very, very reliable. I think if he didn't go through like hot spells the way he has, because like he's been just red hot in April and red hot now, but like there were
good in July too.
There were stretches of like June and August and like early August where he was unplayable, and I think that's just a whole microcosm of the team. Like Reynolds has that, Sawinski has that, Joe has that. Leover Peguero seems to flip flop between that every other game. There's just no consistency.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've been on here for about half an hour.
Yeah, it's good.
Pirates, do they go to Chicago tomorrow, or do they? No, the Cubs play the Cardinals.
Yeah,
The Cubs play the Pirates. I'm sorry.
I will say one more thing. I guess it's terrible. It's hard to be too mad going 2 out of 4 from the Cardinals, but man, you really feel like you should have had that game in hand.
Yep. Justin Steele pitches tomorrow, and the very famous to be announced for the Pirates. Do we have any of our starters announced for the next 4 days?
I think that Mackey tweet said no, which I think is the first time he's ever seen it as a professional writer. So we're making history this year.
Yep.
Keller goes Friday.
Was that just?
I just checked the MLB app.
All right.
Keller goes Friday. Falter goes Sunday. That's all I got for you.
All right. So I guess tune in tomorrow to find out who the starter is.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You got anything else?
No. Kind of a boring game, which is weird to say about a 6-4 loss. Just disappointing, man. But, better than what July was.
Let's not get into that. All right.
Yeah, no.
It's a Gray's hat. Jolly Roger report. All right. So peace out. I will be on tomorrow, I think. Be on tomorrow with, I don't know, Jim or Donardo. Any last words?
Nope. Have a good rest of your day. Thank God the Pirates loss is over now and you can enjoy your evening.
Peace.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.